Hello everyone. Hello. And welcome back to the great Donny Chronicles. So we've been defending Soto-san's friend in Japan, and we discovered that the murderer is probably the photographer. So we need to find him. I hope we're gonna find him. Let's have a look then. Let's find out. 13th of August, 10:41 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendant's Antechamber 3. Oh, I'm so sorry, Susato. I should have told you about the toxin. Oh, Rei. You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you decided to shoulder the burden alone. No, that's not it at all. I was scared of my failure coming to light, that's all. So I hoped to retrieve the substance from the Englishwoman before anyone found out. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susato? That you had no doubt in your mind about my innocence? That you'd stand by me to the last? I remember. And yet, I didn't deserve your trust in me. I hid important details from you, Susato. I completely betrayed your faith in me. Hit me, Susato! I deserve it! No, in fact, throw me to the floor! Susato, take down. No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the city streets. What? Oh, I'm not better, you know? Oh? Even though in my heart, I knew that you'd pull the knife blade from Miss Brett's back. There was just a brief moment when, in my mind, I doubted you. Doubted you, yeah. Susato. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I stood there and promised you that I'd stand by you and always be on your side. I betrayed your faith in me too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer. So you got to hit me and throw me to the ground. Oh, no. I think this situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing your unbridled faith in another is no easy task. Oh, yes, Father. That fact has certainly struck home. Which is why I can see more clearly now. I can see clearly now. So, hey. Yes? Can you find it in your heart to forgive me? Oh, Susato. You know you'll always be a gallant, dashing lawyer in my eyes now. Oh, hey. Are they gonna get together? I was so scared, you know, when it happened. I didn't know what was going on. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. I know it was you who stole the poison. Oh, well now, whatever do you mean? And then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. It It all happened right before my eyes. Oh, and you were the only people in the hut at the time? That's right, just Miss Brett and myself. There was no one else. So I just don't understand how she could possibly have been stabbed like that. A great mystery indeed. Oh, I still can't believe it happened. That's why I just couldn't bring myself to speak up. Oh, it will be alright. However, it happened, and whatever really went on by the sea that day, I promise you that I'm going to prove everything you've said you saw is true. Spoken like a true Mikotoba. Or is it like a true Naruhodo? But now, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial here, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure that we have our facts in order. Oh yes, I expect the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now. Oh, the trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized blend of alkaloids. The police won't have any way of testing for it. Oh, I see. Yes, without this chemical reagent, it's impossible to detect the toxin. Chemical reagent? I sent a colleague of mine off with them earlier to deliver. With some earlier to deliver to police at headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case. The chemical reagent has been entered into the court record. A special indicator solution for a new poison under development by my father's team. It's been created in strict secrecy and exists only in my father's laboratory. What's the matter, Sato? You're suddenly very quiet. Oh, is this newspaper article? Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. I'm wondering how the information got out, given that it was a government secret. Wait, does this journalist wrote news about the poison he himself stole? Would be kind of a weird move. Oh, it was all the Englishwoman's doing. What? It was when the professor and Sasaki-san were being interviewed at the laboratory. That so-called English lady sworn in, and without any compunction, said to Professor Mikotoba, "Oh, Professor, surely your guest would love to hear about your work on that substance there." It put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. But Sasaki-san's curiosity had been piqued, so I had little choice but to give him a cursory introduction. So then, Sasaki-san knew about the poison? Yes, it is highly likely that the reporter who was writing up the story about us would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too. Oh, this Minimemo-san. Minimemo, I wonder what it means. Oh, by the way, did that reporter join you all when you went to the beach? Oh, no, I don't remember the reporter being there. Indeed, he shouldn't have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there. Oh. A known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bath by the seaside. Soseki-san pointed out that inviting a reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office. Problematic. Oh, yet. Here proceeded to go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. And then presumably he posted it anonymously to the police. Oh? Yes, that must be what happened. Counsel! We've just heard that the new witness is now ready to testify. The trial is about to resume. Please proceed into the courtroom at once. Oh, okay. It's time to steal ourselves once again then. Defense attorney Ryutaro Naruhodo. Yes. Rei has put her faith in me now and told me everything. So I can't let her down. I have to prove that what she's telling the court is true. I have to prove what really happened that day. Oh, you can do it, Sato-san. August, 11:30 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 1. I hereby call this court to order as we reconvene to continue the trial of Rei Menbami. Prosecutor Aochi, have you summoned the new witness?
Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share.
Oh God, what is it? Oh. What news? And why does he look so happy about it?
During the recess, with the collaboration of Professor Mikotoba's laboratory at Yume University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Mr. Sailbread's life.
Excellent. I admire your rapid handling of the matter.
Oh, too kind, Your Excellency. Oh, you're too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course.
I had the reagent delivered to the police headquarters by rickshaw, so it would be there in good time.
But judging by the man's swagger, I fear...
Oh, but judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable. And counsel, what were the results?
This dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no trace of poison anywhere on his blade.
What? Are you sure about that?
I would stake the reputation of the police on it.
Not even his own, okay. Armed with the reagent, the test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake. The murder weapon has been entered into the court record.
In short, the accused's feeble excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed.
Wait, what? No. It's not because there was no poison that she couldn't have thought there was poison.
Now the prosecution is ready to call the new witness.
Okay. Ah, the newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Wait, let me check the things. A small knife, okay. Oh, blood. Oh, yes. This must be the victim's blood. Oh dear. Blood isn't a very pretty sight, is it? I'm having to fight the urge to run it under a hot tub and get it clean. You've always been fastidious about cleanliness, haven't you? I think this is something else, Father. Is there anything special about this blade? I don't think there is. There's nothing special. Okay, can we? Oh, the label appears to be written in a foreign language that I don't know. It's German, so your knowledge of English is going to be of little help here, I'm afraid. Couldn't you just have written medicine on it in Japanese? Then we'd all be able to read it. German is the international language of medicine, my dear. But yes, I can certainly see the merit in labeling the bottle in Japanese. Though I'm not sure medicine would be entirely appropriate. Okay. Can we use that? I want to use it on the fountain pen. If we take it out the pen slit, okay. Now let's unscrew the bottle, shall we? This must be the little reservoir that holds the ink. Yes, you fill it by drawing ink from a bottle up through the nib. Is something wrong, Father? Just that there doesn't actually appear to be any ink in there, that's all. Oh yes, you're right. It's pretty much empty. It's full of poison, you guys! Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose. Ah, my dear. Good. Very well, officer. Bring in the witness. Oh, no trace of poison on the knife. But if that's really the case, how could the toxin have entered the victim's body? Oh, this dude. He's got ink on his hand.
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
Right then, Minimimo. I'll to show you news. I'm what people like to call a journal. What's a journal, Father? Do you know? It's simply a contraction of journalists. I'm there where the news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops, so that they're in print the next morning. Oh dear. They don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guy in the news. The symbol on the pen. It's the symbol of the newspaper. Oh, so it was you who took this photograph, was it? What have we here? I'm sorry? Oh, brace yourselves, people. Minimimo senses a scoop in the offing. Female student up to foul play, defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. The readers will lap this up. We'll set it above the fold at 72 point in a 5-leg format for the morning edition. Wow, this guy. Huh? Alright then. Let's start with your name. He's raking the tip of his pencil? That doesn't do anything, alright? Oh, it's, Ryutaro Naruhodo. Next, what made you want to become a lawyer? I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose. Yutaro has suddenly become very ambitious, I see. I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while.
By the way, my name is Taketsushi Aochi. That's Taketsushi Aochi. The so-called dark horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart. I'm sure.
No, the reader won't buy that. The readers won't buy that.
What?
Witness. Yes? What this court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for the taking of this picture. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday. Oh yeah, I wouldn't be a journo if I didn't click quick when presented with a scoop like that, if we know we would die. Sometimes stories go out to me, sometimes I have to chase them down, but either way, you've got to be fast. Fast legs to run with, and a fast hand to write with. It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say. That's what I call my mini-memoism. What? Mini-memoism? Ah, yes, I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself and Soseki-san. Oh, yes, right. It was me, Mini-Memo, again. But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoyu News office after our meeting. But the scoop is, I didn't. Because that Englishwoman's word had piqued my journalistic interest. Miss Brett's words? A criminal, left to do as she pleases, just because she happens to be a British citizen? It's horse dung! This country's judiciary is rotten to the core! The Supreme Court's ruling onto us the paper they're written on! The police are just impaled pawns!
Stay your tongue, young man! There are complex political issues at play.
Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down those words she said in my memo pad. Are you ready? I read it out. It's all here. Right, here goes. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. A sailed criminal going on some junket. The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's story, so I could hammer her in the press. Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph? Oh yes, I saw it with my very own journal eyes. From start to finish, through the viewfinder of my trusty camera. Thank you, Mini-Memo-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death. This guy is getting on my nerves. Oh man, he speaks so fast. The bitch hut was made of shoddy odd read screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. My smoldering Jonah spirit burst to flame. Quick as a flash, I whipped out my camera ready to click. I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot. Read screens, you say? Right, you can see them clearly enough in that great shot I snapped. The hut walls were just screens, made of coarsely woven reeds. Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat. It was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up. Ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved, Did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut?
Oh yes, I saw it. I saw the whole thing from start to finish.
And you said that you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens.
Oh, luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap. Would I get away with it, or would I be seen? It was the gamble of a lifetime.
A tenacity of purpose that's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose.
Oh, run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's minimalism in a nutshell. At last. It would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may close to a verdict.
No.
Objection. Oh, wonderful news, Your Excellency. Oh, wonderful.
Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that this testimony begs one very large question.
What question?
Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all that make you an exceptional story for the reporter. Why then was the story never published? Oh, that's right.
Hey, what do you say to that?
It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood.
Ah, more pathetic excuses.
Very well then, Counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency. And there's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest. The camera never lies. And tomorrow never dies. The bed shirt was made of shoddy hard reed screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. What made you want to see what was happening inside the bed shirt in the first place?
Call it Joro instinct. Can you think of a better reason?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Perhaps because as well as being a proven criminal, the person inside was a young woman.
Ah, I see where you're going with this. Brace yourselves, people. He's painting the journal as a voyeur.
It's hardly slender, sir. You had a camera and you are taking pictures without the woman's knowledge.
Nope, you got it all wrong, little student boy.
Sorry?
To my mind, all that was inside that hut was a scoop. Nothing more, nothing less. Scoops, no gender, man or woman. It's old news. That's not even minimal memoism. It's basic journalism.
If only the courtroom was as indiscriminate. Ah, yeah.
Right, so if that's all buttoned up, can we move on? Tell the court then, witness, what sight befell your eyes when you looked inside the hut? A sight that vindicated my journal instinct, that's what! When I pulled back the reeds, I could see it all as clear as day. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her.
So, you actually saw Memba-misan entering the hut?
Yep, and she was raging like my journal spirit.
And then the argument you mentioned. What was that about exactly?
You stole it! Oh, I didn't steal it! That kind of thing.
I suppose.
The student girl walked right up to the Englishwoman and really started laying into her. I mean, if she'd laid into her anymore, there would have been eggs. Wait, what? What? The man should have been an author. His descriptive talents are wasted in journalism. But the student's renting fell on deaf ears. And deaf ears, like a Japanese person listening to English for the first time.
Oh, he really ought to work on his similes first, though, to be honest.
Anyway, the point is, that woman in the dock was mightily angry.
And her temper finally got the better of her, it seems. Oh dear me.
Which was the climactic moment that I caught on film. Seconds later, the girl put out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back.
Hold it!
Do you swear before this court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place?
Ha! The precise moment? I didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out. From start to finish.
I have here a simple plan of the beach hut. Perhaps you could use it to explain to the court exactly what you witnessed.
Plan. I like that.
Right you are. It's all here in my mini memo pad. When I first peered into the hut, I'm sure that the Englishwoman was on this stool at the back of the hut here.
Oh yes, the accused on testimony confirmed that.
She's just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly, is what I have noted down.
It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt.
Ah,
Then, the next moment, as I was watching, the other student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously. The Englishwoman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. And in a flash, plunged the knife into her adversary's back as the two passed each other. What you describe is a grim crime indeed. Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what Minimimoism says.
the beach hut plan has been entered into the court record. Oh, by the way, Minimimo-san. Whilst you were watching the terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap in the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy, rather than capture it on film?
Journos have to be observers. Observers. We can't get involved. That's our raison d'être.
So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all?
Obviously not. An observer always remains on the outside looking in.
And that's something to be proud of, is it? Reminds me of those parents who see their child like having in trouble, and they film it and post it on social media instead of helping them. I always find that kind of weird.
Your Excellency, if I may. Yes, Professor. Oh, I think the witness's last expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony.
Father, what are you?
I will grant the defense's request. Minimimo-san, You will supplement your formal testimony with the aforementioned statement. Well, nihilism is the foundation of minimalism, but I'll gladly prove that my words aren't meaningless. I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was there only as an observer. Observer.
Okay. Really? You didn't set foot inside the hut at all? Are you quite sure about that?
I think you may have the wrong impression of me. We're talking about a murder scene here. My nerves were stretched to breaking point already.
Oh, I see. You were scared? Maybe I did have the wrong impression of you. Yes. Oh, sassy Susato-san.
It was all I could do to stifle a scream and hold my hands steady enough to snap shut. You really should have summoned help before thinking of your camera. Minimalism and humanism don't always agree. And most of the time, in those instances, minimalism comes out on top.
Oh, hey, Mrs. How are you doing tonight?
This photographer is really annoying. It's getting on my nerves.
Oh.
As a sculptor of stories, sometimes I have to be cruel for my art. Yes, that's spot on.
Surely he's making all this up.
He claims to have spied the whole affair from start to finish. If true, his testimony is devastating.
But it does seem as though he's holding something back, doesn't it?
If that's how you feel, I suggest that you trust your instinct and press him on everything he's said. As you've no doubt seen, done many times before in your role as judicial assistant.
Oh, yes, I have. I've seen witnesses like this pressed often and know exactly what to do. Okay, so I need to check the plan, the floor plan though. Okay, so I guess what I have wait. One thing I have is the pictures and the plan. So is there anything in the picture and the plan that would help us know? What's identify some inconsistency in what he's saying? The beach hut was made of shoddy orderly screens, so there were plenty of cats I could see inside through. Okay. That said, we see in here that there aren't that many gaps. But I don't think it's the thing that we're gonna have to use. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Okay. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman onto the floor. She stabbed her in the back. Okay. Nice smoldering Jonas sprite burst into flames. Quick as a flash, whipped out of my camera, ready to click. I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot. I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was there only as an observer. Maybe we can beat the pencil, because it has the emblem of the journal. Oh well. We know for certain that this emblem isn't that of Yume University.
The police really ought to have spotted that.
They were obviously convinced of Lay's guilt from the outset. Hey, wait, what's the name of the man? It's Minimimo, but what's his first name? I think RM are his initials. Oh, we're gonna present that.
Objection!
Minimimo-san, until now, I've had a firm belief that newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth.
You're spot on there. The press doesn't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Shoyu News on my arm. In a way, a small minimalism.
Sadly, though, it seems the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth.
Well, what are you suggesting with those recommendatory words, Counsel?
Minimimo-san, do you recognize this fountain pen?
Oh!
This pen was found at the scene of his brother's death. In fact, the murdered victim was gripping on it in her hand as she died.
What are you?
If you look at the barrel of the pen, you'll notice that its owner's initials are engraved there. RM.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Counsel. The initial of the accused, remember me?
Is it a coincidence, I wonder? That your initials are also RM.
No!
Enlighten Minimimo. RM.
That's horse dung! Can't you see? One of the central tenets of minimalism is being a pencil user.
Why do you have an ink? Some ink on your hand then, man? And yet, as the court will clearly be able to see on your right hand, there's a very obvious blue ink stain.
It would appear that you must have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is. Horsey horse dung.
Horsey horse dung. Ah, is that some things people say, Mrs.? Minimimo-san, is it not the case that before she died, you met with Giselle Brett in that bitch hut?
Why should we listen to this absurd nonsense? It is nothing but another excuse.
Exactly. Shoyu News will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything. There must be as many people with the initials RM as there are stars in the night sky.
The defense has neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky. Ooh, Seto-san. And there's no need anyway, because this pen has more to tell. Yes, there is another clue. A clue that undeniably proves who its owner really is. Oh.
In that case, counsel, the defense will now show the court where this alleged clue lies.
Of course, Your Excellency. The clue on this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is... There it is. Take that! As well as the initials, there is also an emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem that you will of course recognize, Minimimo-san.
Oh, goodness me! It's the emblem of the City News!
In other words, the owner of this pen is an employee of the Shoyu News, whose initials are RM. Quite a mini coincidence. Suddenly the stars in the night sky don't seem to so numerous, do they?
Oh.
Well, Minimo-san, how do you respond?
No! Order! Explain yourself, witness.
Ah, he's speechless.
So, this is how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it? Using coercive tactics to have well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets.
I've used nothing but honest tactics.
Alright then, fine. I won't try to hide it anymore. Yes, not long before that grim tragedy unfolded. I, a Shoyu News reporter, on behalf of the public, conducted an interview of the Englishwoman.
Oh, that's a weird thing to hide. An interview? You never mentioned this before. When exactly was this?
As I said, it was before that evil little student girl showed her face in their hut. It couldn't have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. It was just a brief exchange. But it came to nothing, and as many memoists say, the people don't pay their dues for unworthy news.
Is this something people say?
However insignificant you deem it to be, this court cannot overlook the meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify now under oath about the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired. Got it, yes. Alright, but... on one condition.
What? You're no place to have conditions? Condition?
In all good conscience, I couldn't speak out alone about this.
What?
You need to call back the earlier witness, Suseki Natsume-san.
Suseki-san?
Oh yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own. And brace yourselves. It's not a harmless one. It's big.
What?
Minimoism states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story.
That is right.
Very well, I will grant the witness's request in this instance. Officer, summon the earlier witness back to the stand.
Suseki-san, hiding something? What? The witness's secrets.
I asked the Englishwoman for an interview, but she declined, so I left the hut without making a fuss. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed, and the other witnesses come running. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran he ran out to fetch help. That's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question. But he didn't say anything about that in his testimony, which is why minimalism demands I reveal it now. Wait, what? You mean to say the victim?
The victim regained consciousness? Well, and when she did, you decided to ask her a question?
Oh, that's, true. Yes.
Oh, he did. And that's not all. The woman gave him a very different answer. An answer that incriminates the accused.
Wait, what?
This is preposterous. Why am I only hearing about this now? Why didn't you mention this before? You hack. It wasn't even a conversation. Yes, I did pose the withering English rose a question. I don't deny it. But she could no longer speak. She was barely conscious even.
Counsel for the defense. I expect a thorough cross-examination to be conducted here. This court must and will know the truth.
Absolutely, Your Excellency. The reporter is claiming that Miss Brett implicated Ray somehow. What on earth could have happened in that hut? The witness's secrets. I asked the Englishwoman for an interview, but she declined, so I left the hut without making a fuss. Oh, wait, I want to press that.
Hold it!
You asked her for an interview, you say?
Oh, well, of course I did. I wanted to ask her about the incident she was involved in at the end of last year.
About the case in which Dr. John H. Woodson lost his life?
That's not the way I phrased it. Minimalism calls for straight talking. Why did you murder Dr. Woodson? Is how I put it to her.
Very blunt question, yeah. Oh yes, that sort of talking is straight as a ruler.
Ask every question as if you're asking for a menu in a restaurant, I say. It's the best way. A veteran at the paper taught me that.
Oh, and how did Miss Brett answer?
With one simple phrase. Mystery is a woman's charm. Whoa! That told me. So a waltz right out of there.
What's that guy doing in the background? You mean Suzuki-san? The guy with the mustache? Oh, really? Something about that doesn't quite seem to fit together.
Leave every room as if you're waltzing in a dance hall, I say. It's the best way.
I don't know. I think he's pretty nervous. That's all. They're both pretty nervous, I would say.
A veteran of the paper taught me that. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed, and the other witnesses come running.
Hold it!
That was very persistent of you, considering that Miss Brett had just turned you away. He's turning around. Oh yeah, he's looking around all the time.
Persistence wins the prize! Any minimalist will tell you that.
I wonder if there are many minimalists beyond this guy. Gotta ask.
Let me think you've left. Then, Just when they lower... Let them think you've left. Then just when they lower the guard, that's when you swoop in for the scoop.
And the fruits of your labor are all too apparent in this stunning photograph. Though I'm sure the young yokel student would rather not be reminded of this damning evidence.
Oh, actually, it's thanks to that photograph that we managed to identify this witness.
And now that you've found me, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I've got nothing to hide.
I'm with you about that. I'm sure.
Oh, please, do go ahead, witness. The court is eager to hear what you have to say.
Oh, try to stop me. There's a story to tell here, and I'm going to tell it. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help.
Oh no, I wanna...
Hold it!
Oh, and Soseki-san remained behind in the hut.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Our other friend here was a blabbering wreck, shaking all over from his head to his toes, mustache twitching, eyes bulging. Just like that.
Oh, what do you expect? You don't know the terrifying troubles that taunted me whilst traveling abroad. Back behind baleful bells, they'll be coming for me, surely. That's all I could think. I felt as though I were gasping for air, drowning in a sea of cold sweat.
Oh, poor Soseki-san. His experiences in London have scared him deeply.
So as the world seemed to close around me, I quietly recited a prayer to Amida Buddha.
Amida Buddha? What?
Eternal emptiness, empty eternity. The end is coming for me, surely.
No sutras are to sound in my courtroom, please. And now we come to the crucial part. That's when it happened. That's when this writer man asked the woman a very significant question.
Hold it!
What question? What exactly did he say?
Well, now, you should hear that from the horse's mouth, I think.
But there's no horse.
Don't you, Mr. Writer Man?
Ah! Alright with it. You can hack. What did you say to her? What did you say to the dying Englishwoman? Oh well, in truth, I'd be catching crowds at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see.
Well, the seaside is a place to be at leisure, I suppose, even for a grown man.
Oh, but then all of a sudden, from that little beach hut, a young girl's panic-stricken cries for help pierced the air.
Oh, hey.
I ran up the beach to see what was happening, to find the defendant leaning over the collapsed victim. As soon as Inspector Hosonaga saw me spread on the ground, he sprinted off to get help. And then, just a moment later, I heard a faint moan. A moan from the dead Englishwoman. I nearly jumped out of my skin.
But what did you ask her, Soseki-san?
I asked her, who did this to you?
Oh.
Don't protract this any longer. How did the woman respond?
Oh, she didn't. She said nothing in response. But...
When in the stand, you will answer the questions asked of you unambiguously. Now, without evasion or reticence, I demand that you demand your testimony.
I will. I asked her, who did this to you? But she never replied.
Hold it!
Oh dear. He's a bit extreme. He is. So, you tried to find out who the culprit was. Oh, he who asks a question is a fool for a minute. He who does not remains a fool forever. And having been labelled a criminal twice during my time in Great Britain, I was quick to make up my mind. Better to be a fool for a minute than remain a fool in prison forever. However, you've indicated that the victim failed to respond. Is that correct? Oh, I know why. I know why the Englishwoman said nothing. She was ignoring me because of my stoop and moustache, because I'm Japanese. Oh dear, Tsuzuki-san has really developed a dislike for the English, it seems.
Having read the report on his time in Great Britain, I can't say I'm surprised at his xenophobia. But the Englishwoman didn't ignore you at all. Did she, Mr. Rotterman?
Well, oh yes, alright. She did respond. In a manner of speaking, I suppose. Oh, she just lifted a trembling finger and pointed in the direction of the defendant.
Hold it!
Miss Brett pointed a finger at the defendant? Soseki-san, is that really true? Yo? What? Oh, it's not easy to stand here and say this, but when we first entered the beach hut, the Englishwoman was sprawled on the floor before us, and the student girl was standing on the far side of her. And when I asked, who did this to you? The Englishwoman summoned her last ounce of strength to point a trembling finger at the back of the hut. Which was, it can't be denied, in the direction of the student girl, who stand accused today. No. Oh, wait. It makes me think of something. Look at the back of the hut. There's some kind of a... Look there. There's a slit in the wall. So she might have been stabbed through there. Oh, no.
Soseki-san, why on earth did you neglect to mention this in your original testimony?
Oh, but, fiddlestick, I say. Fiddlesticks? What?
This is not a British court of law. You will respond in Japanese.
Oh, yes, of course. The Englishwoman did point her finger towards the back of the hut, but I was trembling, and she was trembling, and everything was a blur. And thinking about it, I feel as though perhaps she was pointing in a slightly different direction. Actually, no, not slightly, in a very different direction to where the student girl was standing. To somewhere at the back of the hut, where nobody was standing at all. You mean that your memory of events and the direction in which the victim was pointing are both unclear? Oh yes, that's it, unclear. It's very, very unclear. Oh, wait. I want to see something. Oh no, she's not pointing at anything there. And she's not pointing at anything there. It's weird.
Objection!
Your Excellency, surely this proves the matter beyond all reasonable doubt. Yes, the woman barely have been conscious, and yes, perhaps her fingers wavered slightly. But there can be no doubt that this was an attempt by the victim to confirm the identity of her assailant. Why?
Oh, is that the Swan Lady in one of the trials? Exactly, she's the one in the first trial we had. The one who killed Dr. John H. Wilson. Iris's father. And we still haven't told Iris.
Because as the court can see, there was no one other than the accused in the direction that the victim was pointing. It is now abundantly clear that no one besides the accused could possibly have committed this crime.
I am inclined to agree. And in the absence of any credible argument to the contrary, I believe we can now conclude this trial.
Oh, come on, man. This is not proof. No. No.
The headless writing itself. Dashing lawyer hopes dashed. 92 points across the whole page. We'll do an extra edition.
This is a serious blow, Sato. Unless we're able to identify the true culprit and substantiate our claim with evidence. The judge will give his ruling, and the trial will be over. Oh, but that's impossible, Father. We don't even know how the crime was committed yet.
Impossible through the task may seem. Impossible though the task may seem, we have no choice. We must think back over everything we've learned thus far. Somewhere in all those details, I'm confident we'll find the clue we need.
Renee gave us her account of how events unfolded in the defendant's antechamber before the trial resumed. She told us what happened at the precise moment Miss Brett was killed. Oh, the Englishwoman was sitting in the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. And then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. How could Miss Brett have been stabbed in the back in a pit shut that was empty but for herself and Renee? Somewhere amidst all the information we've gathered so far, there must be an answer to that question. Oh, that's what I was looking right before.
I take it then that the defense has nothing further to add?
So, the gallant yokel student's luck finally runs out. I can't say I'm surprised.
In that case, I'm ready to deliver my final verdict on this matter.
No, objection! This is a crucial turning point now. If I can't establish what really happened, it's over. Where was the real culprit hiding? And how did he or she stab the victim?
Let's save. Because, you know... Okay, I know how.
Objection!
Your Excellency, I respectfully ask you to postpone your adjudication for the time being.
Oh, to what end, counsel?
The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. An alternative theory that can explain who the victim was actually trying to implicate with her dying gesture.
Objection!
An alternative theory? Ah, none exists.
Objection!
There was someone else present at the scene. Who could have committed the crime?
What?
And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time. By mustering all her remaining strength and pointing a trembling finger in the killer's direction.
This is fiction. Fantasy.
Very well. As you seem so sure of yourself, Counsel, I'm prepared to hear your alternative theory. So, young Ryotaro Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
You will present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan. At the moment the victim was stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed?
Right behind the wall.
Naruhodo-san will never give up. And I am a Naruhodo now. The true culprit who fatally stabbed Miss Brett was concealed in this location here.
Are you mad, Counsel? You're suggesting the culprit was outside the hut?
What?
Order! Order! Order!
But student lawyer Naruhodo-san Esquire. That makes no sense at all.
Oh, you just pointed out the exact spot where I was hiding to get my scoop snap.
Oh, that's weird, eh?
But I didn't see any suspicious individual loitering about. I can swear to that.
Yeah, that's... What a weird, weird. Obviously, if the culprit had been outside the hut, there is no way that he or she could have stabbed the victim who was inside the hut.
Actually, Prosecutor Aochi, there is a way.
Oh!
And, in point of fact, the defense can provide evidence strongly suggesting that is precisely the way Miss Brett was killed.
You're bluffing! You're bluffing!
The defense's assertions is clearly too fantastical for the court to comprehend. You will need to give us more guidance, Counsel. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut?
Oh, is this picture or this picture? Because on this picture we can see the thing over there, but these pictures prove that you can get the wall. Oh, I don't know. Let's try this one. I mean, we have a few lives left.
The original photographic print of the crime scene?
Yes, it's clearly visible in this print. The trace of the fatal thrust that was delivered from outside the beach hut.
Objection!
Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing.
I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Someone, at least, appears to have noticed what it is that I'm referring to.
Counsel, once again, I must call on you to be explicit for the court. Where on this photograph is a trace of the stabbing which you claim took place from outside the hut?
Over there, look at that. Can you not see?
Look closely just here. In the screen at the back of the hut, you can see the effect of a blade having been forced through the reeds.
No! I can't. I can't see any such thing.
It's true that the hut in question had 4 walls as you'd expect. However, by parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them.
Oh, this is extraordinary.
Yes. The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut.
Oh,
And everyone present at the scene. And of everyone present at the scene, there's only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed.
Raiden Minimo-san. It could only have been you. No!
Objection!
This preposterous idea leaves me almost speechless. Just look at the photograph again. The victim lies almost exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not? Are we to assume, as part of this farcical scenario, that the assailant was a knife thrower?
Objection!
No, of course not.
We're not?
If you recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett.
But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable. A stool?
Have another look at the photograph. The slit in the reed screen would align perfectly with the back of a person who was sitting on that stool.
Oh my word! So, in fact, the victim was...
Killed while sitting on that stool by a stab wound to her back, delivered through the reed screen.
Ah!
Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively. But then, unable to speak, she collapsed on the floor in the middle of the hut. Before the defendant, Member Misan's apologized. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened on the beach that day. I have silence, Minimo-san. I take it that you don't deny the charge.
This is absurd.
Oh, that will do. It would appear that we have a tacit admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this matter, which means that the defendant, Member Misan, is innocent of the crime.
Really? Wow, that was easy. Oh, thank goodness. I finally made in cave.
I must say, I've never been more proud.
No, this can't be. The Archie clan can't. What of my growth of hope? It wasn't all an apparition. I can't accept this. I won't.
I see no reason for the continuance of this trial. I would therefore move to conclude proceedings by delivering my Well, this is all very convenient. This is how the highest court in our mighty empire delivers justice, is it? Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals?
But we've established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut, through the reed screen's walls.
And no one but you was in place at the time to have his hands on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction. So, your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the Englishwoman, does it? Well, it seems a little irrelevant now.
Irrelevant?
Where she was stabbed, how she was stabbed. It doesn't matter. I mean, whether she was stabbed at all makes no difference, if you think about it. After all, this trial's already shown the whole thing hinges on something else.
What? What are you talking about?
Brace yourselves, little man. I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed. Because of the dirt you dug up.
What?
Enough obscurity. Explain yourself, witness. What's to explain? I'm talking about the poison, of course.
The poison?
Let's ask the professor for a comment on the situation, shall we? I understand that a deadly poison you were developing was stolen from your laboratory. Correct? And it's been shown that this poison was administered to the victim, Miss Brett. Is that right? That is correct. The unusual constriction of the victim's pupils are a sure sign that this particular poison was used. I see, I see. So presumably that means that the victim already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed.
Oh,
Given that her pupils were clearly constricted, it seems highly likely, yes. If she had been dead already, the poison could not have circulated in her blood.
Ah, how refreshing to hear the argument of a metropolitan mind. Precisely. It matters not a jot who stabbed whom in whose back and with whose blade. And why was it then that they were ready to convict an aide then?
all those guys, really.
Because quite simply, the Englishwoman's life was taken not by the knife, but by the poison.
Objection!
But that can be explained by the poison being on the blade, as I already...
Objection!
Forgotten already, have we, yokel? During these very proceedings, the laboratory of the professor at your side assisted in proving that the blade of the weapon used to attack the victim had no trace of poison on it whatsoever.
Oh, so let me get this down. The facts are skillfully established by the defense in this trial turn out to be a headline making red herring. Is that about right?
Well, ah!
Order! 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 But where does this leave us? How, in that case, did the poison enter the victim's body? There is an undeniably obvious answer to that. The lady most likely imbibed it?
Not sure what that means. What does imbib mean? Mrs., can you help?
Imbibe? Imbibe? To drink. To take in or up. Okay, she drank it. I think it's an old word for drinking. You okay. Oh, you mean she drank it?
Have another look at the photograph here. As you can see, a bottle of carbonated water and glass had been knocked onto the sandy floor of the beach hut.
I thought it was wine, but okay.
The poison could have been slipped into either.
So somebody made Miss Brett drink it.
Well, what do you know? Look at those flashing eyes. This would make a great front page shot. Hey, why the bewitching stare? After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at. It would make no sense at all if I poisoned the woman, would it? I mean, it's just been established already.
Hold it!
Established?
What are you talking about? Don't tell me you've forgotten. That's a little hard to believe, given that the person who established it was you.
Me? What on earth does he mean?
Oh, let me capture those wide eyes. This is prime press photo, it is. It would seem that this trial is not destined to end yet after all. I hereby call upon the witness to give further testimony. That's great, that is. Let me go a shot of that magnificent beard, Your Excellency. You claimed it to be impossible that you were the one responsible for administering the poison to the victim. You will explain to the court in your testimony the basis upon which you make your such claim. I'm a journal, and not a man. I've never tried to run or hide from anything in my life. And I'm about to start now. I'm not about to start now, because that's minimalism.
Ah, for a brief moment, I thought that it had eliminated the truth, but it slipped back into obscurity again. Just where is this trial going to take us? I think we're gonna have to stop here because it's getting late. But damn it, can never be easy, can it? Oh dear. And what's with the cause? I mean, we're fighting over, oh, she's the one who stabbed the woman. She's the one who stabbed the woman. And then when we established she didn't stab the woman, then, oh, it doesn't matter that's who stabbed who. Oh, come on, man. Okay. Well, tomorrow is, the, 31st. How annoying. Yeah. What's with those guys? We've been saying that for like the whole time, and they're no, she stabbed her, and then the other guy says, oh, but it doesn't matter, and they're like, oh no, it doesn't matter. Okay, tomorrow night I'm not gonna be here because I'm not gonna be home, so we can't continue that tomorrow. But I hope you're gonna have some celebrations. But we can continue that the day after. Are you working, Mrs.? You're working tomorrow night? "12 hours? Wow. Oh man. during the night? Maybe Carl can get something ready for you when you come home. He works nights. Oh, well, you can have a nice time on the first, I guess. Yeah, after work. Oh, you're gonna find a moment, I'm sure. Oh, well, in any case, I hope you find a moment to have a good time. And we can continue our adventures on the first day of next year. So, in the meantime, please take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you next year then. Good night.